All right, this is a video, long time coming. I wanted to redo my top 10 video games of all time because it's changed considerably. And it's no longer going to be top 10 because my favorite number is 3. So I like doing things divisible by 3. So that's what we're doing today. Me talking about video games that have had an lasting impact on me. There's some old ones on here, new ones on here. It's quite the foray through, and there's one that's really new, and something unheard of has happened, and I'll get to that when we get to that game. But for now, let's start the list with number 9, which is Kena Bridge of Spirits. This came out for Sony, PS4, PS5. It was heavily inspired by Studio Ghibli. The little creatures you see hanging around Kena right there, those are called the Rot. You could go around, find them, put them in little hats and whatnot throughout the whole game. It's really a great nod to Legend of Zelda and a little bit of Dark Souls thrown in because some of those bosses are kind of hard, but it does have a difficulty setting, so you can adjust upward and downward. The game itself is beautiful. It's breathtaking. I love the story elements in it. It doesn't heavily focus on the main character. A lot of people had a problem with that. I'm like going, well, really, go play Ocarina of Time. Link does go back and forth in time, but you don't get a lot of lore dump on him at all. So think about that. They took that kind of nod from Zelda and threw it into this game, which, for me, this game is near perfection, and I love it. So let's move on to number 8. I've played this 3 times, twice on Twitch, once on my YouTube channel. It's Marvel's Spider-Man. Fantastic game. I lump in with this Miles Morales because it is kind of a 6-hour add-on to it. All of it in one take is just beautiful. It's this is how you'd want to play Spider-Man. It is a game that I heavily thought was going to be bad because I thought it was going to be all quick time events, and it's not. A little bit in there, but not too much. It's just one of my favorite experiences playing a superhero in a video game, and that is why it's in this top 10. I've replayed it so many times. I know the game so well, and I've unlocked everything and done 100% on the achieves. So it is just magnifique. I can't say anything bad about this game. It came out, it destroyed my expectations, and I solidly say this was one of the best games of all time. Number 7, Super Metroid. There's Super Metroid, there's Symphony of the Night, and there's Hollow Knight. All of them great Metroidvania games. But it is Metroidvania, and Super Metroid it's the first one I ever played, and the game just flowed. Everything flowed. I wanted to get everything. I did 100% run. I got the run where she jumps back and all she's wearing is her athletic wear. I'm like going, okay, I saved the animals. I did everything in Super Metroid. It is one of the pinnacles of the Super Nintendo era. One of the best games of that era, and oh man, just can't say enough about it. If you're into Metroidvanias, make sure you play Super Metroid at least once. If you don't, you are going to regret having missed it. I think we're to 6. 1, 2, yep. Next, the only MMO on this list, City of Heroes. It's an addicting game. I love City of Heroes. I created so many characters in that. I did every single archetype except for the big ones, like the arachno spiders and the I can't even remember the aliens. I can't remember what they're called. I didn't find those appealing at all, so I didn't make them. But City of Heroes was an MMO that did things a little bit differently. It released free content on the regular, very little by way of paid updates. And it broke a mold, and it was shelved, not because it wasn't making money, but because it didn't fit a portfolio, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, the people that are in charge of it have come around a lot and understand that the community is still there, needing to play it, etc. etc. And for that, I thank them. I thank them 100% because they're allowing the community to continue to grow, and that can't argue that. That's why City of Heroes is in my top 9 video games of all time, and it will always be here. Undertale. I backed this game. I can proudly say that. Undertale is Toby Fox's brainchild. Love this game. There's nothing I get, especially, wow, I don't see her here. Oh, yeah, there she is. Yeah, Undine, because she's a Dragoon. Without a doubt, she's a Dragoon. Love her. She kicks butt. It is one of the first games where you don't want to hurt people going through if you want to get the good ending. If you want to get the bad ending, well, there's a guy in a blue jacket on the screen right there. Enjoy what you've gotten yourself into, because that fight is not easy. Yeah, Undertale, throwback to the SNES era, even the NES era, I'd say, graphic style. It is something everybody should play. I wholeheartedly recommend it. Toby Fox is a genius. Deltarune, if you haven't played Deltarune yet, definitely go through and play Deltarune. It is also shaping up to be very, very well done. Number 4, Journey. You can say that something's happened to this list because this used to be number 3. Journey. If you have a PC, if you have a PlayStation, play Journey. If you don't play Journey, what's wrong with you? This is one of Total Biscuit's favorite games. Not his favorite game, that would be Brothers, but this is one of his favorite games. And this is one of my favorite games. It is an immersive experience. You can encounter other players as you're playing through it, but you will never know who they are because all you can do is communicate through light and sound. It's fantastic. Ocarina of Time is number 3. Ocarina of Time is the only Zelda in my top 100, I think. Yeah, because I didn't really get into it until Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is the first Zelda game I ever finished. And it is a tour de force. You can't not play this game. I say play it. Because you meet the Gorons, you meet a whole bunch of things, other things in it. It is an experience you won't regret. And as I said before, he doesn't talk a lot. There's not a lot of exposition on Link at all. He's just there. And he does what he needs to do. And that's why I say Kenna took a nice nod from Ocarina of Time. Number 2. Did number 2 change? It did. That's right. Number 1 changed. Number 2, Final Fantasy IV. What can be said about Final Fantasy IV? It epitomized being able to use in-game engine for cutscenes. It epitomized grandiose music. And the music score for 4 is just over the top, insanely crazy good. It utilized interesting character quirks, like the Dragoon jumping up in the air, Rosa being a healer, Iridia being able to summon creatures. It established a whole bunch of things that would become Final Fantasy staples. And not just that, the in-game engine, the music, the storytelling, it all set industry standards that are being copied by many today in other companies. And it's something that Square Enix is still standing on today. Which brings me to number 1, and this did change, Behind the Frame. Why? Everything I just said about Final Fantasy IV, this game does flawlessly. If you have an hour to an hour and a half to spend, play Behind the Frame. It has a great, compelling story. It has puzzles. It has art. It has incredible music. Everything that 4 did for the industry, Behind the Frame just took and said, we can use it all. And they did. This is a work of art, not just a video game, a work of art. If you don't know what it is, for crying out loud, it's not that expensive. Go play this. I highly recommend it. who I call my forever person, she played it and just was eager for me to watch. And I was beyond enthralled when I just got up one morning and just played it through with her. And at the end, I was just like crying because there's some subtle things that we recognize together as being part of something that we're doing. And there's a bunch of things that lined up that just, along with the universe telling us it's okay, this game was telling us it's okay. And it just has a place in my heart now that I just sat there and said, this is a new number one, isn't it? I never thought this would happen. So that's how Behind the Frame became my favorite game of all time, with a lot of love and a lot of care. And I encourage you to get it on Steam and play. Anyway, that's been it for me. An update to my top 10 video games of all time. It's actually my top 9 now. I'll see you all in the near future. Thank you for watching this, and I'll see you soon.